You know it's bad for you. You've known for years. And you still drink it. Which, same, honestly. That's not the interesting part. The interesting part is why it's so hard to stop. Because it shouldn't be this hard. It's a drink. You've quit things before, but soda just keeps coming back. 2 in the afternoon, 1 with dinner, 1 because you're bored and water is right there and you still don't want water. There's a reason for that. And it starts happening way earlier than you'd think. Like within 10 minutes of your first sip. The sugar hits your blood fast, faster than almost anything solid you could eat, because liquid doesn't need much digestion. Your pancreas sees the spike coming and just floods your system with insulin to deal with it. And here's where it gets a little annoying. For some people, it can overshoot a bit. Blood sugar drops quickly, sometimes even lower than where it started. So about an hour after a soda, you're not back to normal. You're actually below where you were before you drank it. And your brain goes, low energy. Something sweet would probably fix that. That's the craving. That's the whole craving. Your body opened a loop and then closed it in a way that immediately asks you to open another one. You didn't fail at anything. You just got played by your own pancreas. Now stretch that out. 1 soda, your body handles it, moves on. But if you're doing this every day, your cells can become less responsive to insulin over time. Not all at once, gradually, in the background, in a way that doesn't feel like anything. There's a name for it. Insulin resistance. And once it starts showing up, it's not just about blood sugar anymore. Energy levels can be affected. Fat storage can shift. Some studies also link this pattern to increased inflammation. It's like the engine of your metabolism slowly getting harder to turn over, and you wouldn't know it's happening from the inside. That's the part that gets left out of most of these conversations. People talk about sugar and calories and cavities, the metabolic stuff, the actual under-the-hood damage. That part's quieter, which is kind of the whole problem. Okay, in diet soda? Because someone's thinking it. The logic makes sense. No sugar, no spike, no problem. And calorie-wise, sure, basically 0. But your brain isn't responding to calories. It's responding to sweetness. So when something sweet arrives and the energy hit doesn't follow, your brain notices that. Some research suggests that gap might affect cravings or appetite over time, though the evidence isn't completely consistent. Your system may keep expecting something that doesn't fully show up. The evidence isn't totally settled, to be fair. But the idea that diet soda is just a clean swap, that's probably too generous. The liver thing is the part most people haven't heard, and it's genuinely kind of wild. Most sodas use high fructose corn syrup. The fructose in it gets sent almost entirely to the liver. Other organs barely touch it. And if you're sending your liver that amount of fructose consistently over months and years, fat can start building up in there over time. There's a condition called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, meaning it happens in people who don't drink alcohol at all, and it's been rising. Soda isn't the only factor, but it shows up often enough in research that it's hard to ignore. Your liver is just quietly dealing with it, every time. And then there's the quitting part, which is where people get confused about themselves, because it feels like it should be easy. It's not cigarettes, it's not alcohol, it's a drink that comes in fun flavors. And yet, people try to stop and just don't, or do for a week and then don't. Here's what's going on. Your brain has built a groove. Tired means soda. Hot means soda. Bored means soda. Stressed means soda. That's not a decision anymore. It's a cue, behavior, reward loop that runs without you. You're not choosing the soda consciously at that point. The habit is choosing it. And if it's caffeinated, which most sodas are, there's another thing happening underneath that. Caffeine, used regularly, changes how your brain regulates the chemical that makes you feel tired. Over time, your baseline shifts. You're not drinking it to feel good. You're drinking it to feel like a normal, functioning person. Without it, you feel worse than before you ever started, at least for a while. So when people quit and get headaches and feel weirdly irritable and can't concentrate, that can feel like mild withdrawal symptoms. Mild, but real. Not dramatic, but not nothing. Which is why telling yourself, just drink water, feels like a bad joke. Because your brain isn't looking for hydration, it's looking for the loop. And water doesn't close the loop. When people do stop and stick with it, the changes are less cinematic than you'd want them to be. First week is rough, or just nothing. Second week, blood sugar starts leveling out. The 2 p.m. crash gets less severe. Some people notice they're sleeping better, which turns out to be caffeine they were having later in the day than they thought. The urgent cravings, the ones that feel almost physical, those start spacing out. It doesn't feel like a transformation. It feels like things getting slightly quieter, less extreme in both directions. Like you stopped riding something that was moving faster than you realized. You already knew soda wasn't good for you, but knowing it's bad and understanding what it's actually doing, the loop it's running, the system it may be gradually influencing, why your brain treats it like it's necessary, that's different. It doesn't make it easy to stop, but at least it makes sense now.